Hey y'all, it's Alicia. Welcome back to Alicia's Crafty Hoplop. And if you're new here, and there are many of you that are, welcome. We hope you feel super comfortable. To my returning folks, happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday. I so apologize for not getting a morning video up. I was just running behind today. It was a bit of a hectic morning, and I'm now done with my classwork, and for now anyway. I have some grading to do tonight, but at least I'm done right now. And I have a few adjustments to make to some of the more of the lesson plans. I have some more adjusting to do. I think that I'm doing some test runs and I'm not so happy with how everything is operating. So lots of tweaking over the weekend. I think this is going to be a working weekend. I told you this first week is always more difficult when you're figuring out how to make things work properly. It's always more hours of work, but it's an investment in the future of the term. But I'm on here to share with you what I've been up to. Yesterday was a more productive craft night for me. And I had to figure out why. And I'm telling you all, the phone is my kryptonite. It's amazing. My bestie loves the phone. You know, she talks to friends on the phone ever since she retired all day long. She has her phone with her at all times. She's always on the phone. She loves talking to people on the phone. She must make 15 calls a day, or she has 10, 15 calls a day. I have 3 and I am wiped out. Wiped out. And right now, of course, you can understand my husband and my mom both are the people that I have to talk to every day because my husband's worried about me and I'm worried about my mom. So those are 2 calls I can't eliminate. But what I did learn from yesterday is I can't have a 3rd call every day. I just can't. So number 1, take a look over my shoulder. The boxes didn't get picked up. Yeah. And I can't be mad because they explained that the reason for that is that their workforce is sick, right? Am I frustrated? Oh, 100%. I mean, I've got 6 game boxes and a whole bunch of smaller packages, and none of them are going to be picked up. And I can see that now. I will call them tomorrow. I'm not calling them tonight because I learned my lesson yesterday. 3 phone calls, it puts me over the edge. So I'm going to have to figure this out. There'll have to be like one designated day where I do another phone call. But I just got to stay away from the phone. I just do. I'll show you the difference it makes. Last night, I prepped 20 bag toppers for dressing, 20. I prepped a whole bunch of cards to make shakers out of, and they still have the edges because on these I am doing the fold over method a la Katso Create and Tree Craft on. Sometimes when I'm doing smaller embellishments, I've gone back to just using my method, but for the cards I like the fold over method. So I prepped a bunch of those. I made 2 giant trays of flowers. 2. And I also prepped a bunch of Memdex bases. Let me show you. A whole bunch. And got those ready. I cut out some really cute tags that I want to dress up for something. And I did strips for Pat. So I mean, yesterday was super productive. 2 trays of flowers, folks. Bag toppers. Cards prepped for dressing. Memdex is cut out. Okay, so that tells you everything. On top of that, I scrubbed my bathroom and my kitchen. So that's how much of an impact a phone call has on me. And it's not just that I'm not a phone person. It's that for whatever reason, it's bad for me. It's just bad for me. It's the only way I can explain it to you. And I was explaining to you all yesterday that, you know, my not being on my medicine, if I ever wondered if my medicine worked, I know it does. Because I'm operating at 50%, well, maybe 25% energy. So I can't afford that 3rd phone call. If I'm going to have that 3rd phone call, then I have to expect that I'm not going to get anything else done. And the difference, as you can see, is like when left to my own devices, I'll get a ton done. So that's frustrating because it means how do I stay in contact with people during this crisis? And even texting, I'm limiting now. I'm like checking my phone at certain times of the day because I have too much to do for school and too much to do for crafting and too much to do for writing. And so there's set times of the day. I'm getting to be that organized now. I'm like, okay, so you'll check it at this time, this time, at this time, and this time. And you will have 30 minutes to respond. And that's it. Just because I'm trying to limit the impact technology is having on my life. That said, I want to keep in contact with everybody, especially during this crisis. So it's like this funny, I'm going to have to find a balance somewhere. And I just haven't found it yet. So be patient with me. Often it's email that drops off just because, well, email and Instagram are the two things that tend to drop when I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I definitely have to do a ton of catching up on Instagram. But you can see the difference. Like when I'm not on technology, look what I can do. Now the house is a mess because I did something really bad yesterday. I know that an hour before I get tired, I need to clean up from crafting. Oh, but last night I just didn't want to. And I was like, oh, well, treat yourself to not doing that. Why don't you just keep going? So I did. But then this morning I was like, what did you do? The bathroom's clean. The kitchen sparkles. The bedroom's fine. This room, wow, it looks like a craft tornado. So I have a lot of craft cleanup to do today, but that's okay. It was worth it. I do want to tell you, I promised you I would tell you how I felt about the Dress My Craft dies versus those German dies I got from Allie. So this is the German die, and this is the Dress My Craft. Now, if you look at them, they're very similar. This one has an inverted point with two, and this has the tri-point. So this one's a little smaller than the Dress My Craft came with some wonderful sizing. That's why I ordered it. And it goes all the way from this down to a smaller one. And this one also has a beautiful size. They both cut well, folks. I have to tell you, they both cut really well. The one that didn't take the water as well is this one. And I left the white in there in the middle to show you why. This weakens the piece. Sorry about that. I usually have my phone off. So this weakens the piece right here. And so when I'm doing the water and the scrunching, this got a little weaker and I had to be more delicate. But out of the whole set, that's the only one like that. The rest don't have that center, and they're phenomenal. I would say they're equally as good. I'll show you what they look like. So this is cut out of the amazing paper that Leticia Zavala sent me. And this one was using the German die. It cut beautifully. It folded beautifully. I didn't have any issues with it. Now, I haven't run it through the Heartfelt Creation mold die yet, mold piece for embossing. This was just using water and some starch, actually, some spray starch. Ideally, you're supposed to use the liquid starch. I just didn't have any at home. And when I tried to order it at Walmart, I couldn't get it delivered. And now during this crisis, it's not a priority, I guess, for them to restock. But I did have spray starch. I've always had spray starch, so that's left over from my mom. Let me tell you, I do not iron very often, but I do keep it in case my husband or I need a crisp white shirt, or we need to freshen up something like a shirt that we haven't worn in like 6 months and it's gotten a little wrinkled in the cupboard. I traditionally use a steamer because I'm lazy. I'm not like my mom. I don't iron my clothes every day, but I do have it in case. So it was handy because I did use the starch method, and here's what I learned. Now, this particular person who I learned this from is a shabby maker, and she uses a mixture of glue, water, and liquid starch. But I knew that would make these too stiff. That would make them stiffer than triple thick. So if I want to run them through the Heartfelt Creation mold, I had a feeling that they would be too stiff and they might tear. So I just used the starch, the spray starch, in the water. I really liked it. It actually, like, I can tell you, I can bend these. Now, again, I can't be as rough with them as I would be with triple thick, but I definitely gives them more sturdiness, like more substance. So again, both dies are equally good, folks. Both dies are equally good. They both came out. They both cut well. They cut well on all different kinds of paper. Both the sizings are nice. I would say they're almost equally as good. Now, the German die, if you recall, was over $4, and with shipping and taxes, it was probably over $5. And I got the Heartfelt Creation, the Dress My Craft dies on sale for $8. So they're very similar in price. It's really up to you if you want to order local and if you're patient enough to wait for an Allie order. Because right now, Allie orders will not be arriving until May, at least according to what Allie says. So there you have it. I promised you I'd let you know how they were. They're both fantastic. I'll tell you what I did learn. I told you I'm not good with those delicate little sprig dies, right? Let me show you. Like these, right? Okay. No. You see, I always assume it's user error. Because, I've been a tomboy since I was a kid. My mom will tell you that. Like, I was a tomboy at least until, like, junior high. So I don't mind. I'm the girl who doesn't mind putting her hand into a yucky sink. I know how to use a power tool. I, I figured I was just being too rough. Then I got the Sissix small tattered dies. And I'll tell you, they look like this. They're very cute. They come out, they really cut beautifully. I'm waiting on the delivery. I ordered the large ones. I've been waiting for them to go on sale because Misty recommended them and I ordered them for myself. And I'm very excited because after working with the small ones, I know I'm going to love them. Okay, so I assumed it was my fault, that I was too rough. I'm not good with delicate dyes. No, it's not true. It's the dye. And I learned this because I used the Sissix to cut out a bunch of these in all different shapes and sizes, and I didn't have one tear. So then I thought, are you just a better maker now? Why don't you just like stop being careful and be rough and see what happens? And they still turned out each and every time. Each and every time these turned out. So I was super impressed. So then I tested it all different kinds of paper. You know me, I'm a curious cat, and I want to come on and tell you guys if I learned something. These cut out well on gold paper. They cut out on my fussy paper. They cut out on every pad. I didn't have one tear. So maybe it wasn't user error. Maybe it was the dye I was using. So I had another sprig in another set of sprigs, if you all remember, that I hauled. I finally said, okay, it's time to do a grown-up. And I cut those out. And about half of those cut out beautifully. And a couple of them were very finicky. But I realized it's about the dye. It really is about the dye. Every single Sissix one cut out perfectly. So that taught me something. If I'm going to buy things like this that are this fussy and delicate, I'm going to buy a better quality dye because it makes a big difference. Big difference. So not only did I do prep the 20 bag toppers and make 2 trays of flowers, you know I like to prep everything at one time. So I've been working on all these shaker cards, and these ones I'm doing the fold over method. That's why they're still tulle. And so I laid them all down, and I'll be making these into shaker cards. They're from Dulce. So I prepped all of those for the shaker mixes, and I had to sort of take a look through my sequin stash. It's definitely time for me to order some new sequins. And it's perfect timing too, because Erica just did a video on her haul from Michael Anderson, and Michael Anderson is one of my favorite suppliers of sequins. So I went and on my break today, I spent a glorious 15 minutes looking at Michael Anderson sequins, and it's time to place a new sequins order because I need some new colors. I need some colors for spring and summer, things like yellow. I don't need, I want. Let me clarify that, especially as a writer. No, there's no need. Need is food, right? Need is food and sleep and shelter. I want some yellow sequins. I want some spring-like sequins. And they have these really lovely muted, I don't know why I like these because it's so the opposite of who I am, but they have these muted pastel ones. Alicia Love Letter Generation, I thought of you when I saw these. And Tennille, you too. But I'm not normally a muted creator. I'm not. That's not who I am. But I really love these. I love them very much. And I was thinking that they looked almost like ice cream-like. I don't know why, but they reminded me of summer and ice cream cones. Maybe because Erica had just shown an ice cream cone die, but I don't think so. There was something about these. So I'm definitely interested in those, but I'm giving an alert to those of you. Ali's having a sale. So it's on for the next few days. And so if, like me, your paycheck is coming in and you're looking to do some ordering, now this week is a good time to do that. But I gotta be honest, folks, I'm not ordering much in this crisis. Ali's being honest. They don't expect anything to come before May. So, and I think that in a time of crisis, it's better to save your money than it is to spend it. So, as tempted as I am to make an order, I know that's bad for the economy. My husband, who understands how the economy runs, will tell me that's how you get into a recession, is your kind of thinking. And he's right, actually. According to economic theory, my husband is right. If you don't spend and you just save because of this, then you're going to hurt the economy. But I can't help it. It's hard for me to think about spending money on things when we have things like food that is needed across the country. So I'm going to allow myself a small sequence purchase, but not my usual. You guys saw when I hauled last time from them. It was a little bit embarrassing. I ordered like 20 packs of sequins. I will not be doing that this round. I will order some summer colors because I do want some yellow, and I did like those muted ones. But I'm going to be very thoughtful about purchasing, just because we may need money for other things that are more important, like food for our friends. All right, y'all. Well, that was a whole lot of chit chatter. That's what I've been up to. I work today. I'm going to take a little rest now because I need it. That was my neighbor calling twice because I have a sign on my door and she's trying to be very respectful, but she's still phoning because probably she's cooked for me today and she probably wants me to come down and get some food. I hope whatever you're up to today, that it's something that gifted you joy. I have a lot of crafty cleanup to do, but I'm going to do that after I finish up these shaker cards. I really love them. I want to thank Cruz again for all of this Dulce. Cruz, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You know what's great about Dulce? It suits more than one making style. Like this one's very shabby, y'all. But like this one, my favorite one says, roll me in fairy dust and call me a unicorn. That's my favorite one. And it's like it could be clean crafting. It has like that Maggie carousel feel. So it's actually good for all kinds of makers. No wonder everybody loves Dulce so much. All right, y'all, that's what I'm up to. I would love to hear what you're up to. And I hope that for all of you, a safe and a healthy Thursday. For Michelle, we hope for a continued recovery for you. It's so inspiring to hear how well you're doing. Makes me smile. And to Anna Stratus, Heart to Hand Creations, you are in all of our thoughts, girly. And if I can find a way to get, I can get a card out. So I can at least get you a card out. And that's all my plan. That's why I'm making some cards. Because those I can get out. All right, y'all. I hope that you keep Anna in your wishes. Keep Carmen's good health in your wishes, please. Wish for a continued recovery for Michelle. And let's just hope for all of our crafty friends and our family that everyone stays healthy and happy. Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday.